So we are live now on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, Discord, where the questions are posted. Tonight, like the past few nights, we have only a few questions. So we may again wrap up earlier tonight. No? But if you have questions, again, this is a business consulting session. But really, you can ask me anything, even if it's not about business. It may be about your work, your job, or finances, or savings. You can ask anything you want. So, the URL for the Discord channel where you can ask questions, again, don't ask them on Facebook, don't ask them on YouTube, is right there. So, from the channel.c/Discord. So, for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, hello and good evening, and I hope you can join the Discord community. So we discuss there things that we learn with each other, and I am there most of the time. Actually, if you want to ask me some questions, some people just PM me and then I reply back. It is a community that is fun and engaging, and we love business. So I'm gonna start off with a question from Madge, and Madge asked this question at 3:08 a.m. Wow, aga. And Madge says, "Hi Sean, hope you're doing well. I would like to ask your insights about multi-level marketing or direct selling of products as additional source of income. Something you can do online selling as well. This pandemic situation, is that advisable or not? What are your thoughts about it?" All right, Madge. So I have to give you a disclaimer for that because I am a registered distributor of Usana, not active, but a registered distributor because I've been taking the supplement for 10 years now. So that's my go to supplement. I don't drink the entire, like all of their products, but I drink the essentials, proflavonol C, and I don't distribute actively. But what I do is if you search for Usana Philippines, Usana Distributor, Usana Supplier Philippines, I think those are the keywords that I rank for. I rank pretty high for those keywords on the first page. So what happens is if people go to that URL, that's a landing page on my website, sean.c, and basically it's an FAQ of what Usana is all about. But if they contact the number there, that's the number of my upline. And what happens is I get some commissions out of it because they put the people who contact there who buys the product or who registers as a distributor under my Usana account as well. So I do get passive income from that because again, I'm not active in terms of distribution. I'm not an active distributor. My friends and family buy from me, but it's not something that I can live off on. So if you want to do it as a side business or a side hustle, I would say it's pretty good, right? But it's not something that I think you can side hustle and you try to live off of that side hustle. Medyo mahirapan ka doon. If you want to do it full time, that's a different thing. I know a lot of people that's super successful doing multi-level marketing. So it is a legitimate business. Some, not all. You have to study the product first. For me, how do you know if it's legit or not? Tingnan mo yung product. If the product is good, if it's effective, for me, I've been taking it 10 years. It is super effective for me. That's why I'm taking it. I know some people it's not effective for them, so they don't take it. They take some other supplement. Maybe they take New Skin, maybe they take Young Living. Doesn't matter. What works for you, kung ano yung hiyang sa'yo, okay ka na doon. Like for me, it's Usana. So it's hi Dennis, thank you for tuning in. Kaya naman. By the way, Pastor Dennis C is one of my life's mentors and heroes. If not for him, I'd probably be in jail right now. So he took me out of my darkest situation. So follow him around, act like a man. So yeah, definitely direct selling or multi-level marketing, something that I think is legit. If you have companies that you want to look into, I'm sure you're looking into some because you asked this question right here. So study first the product. Kung okay yung product, kaya mong ibenta with good conscience. Kaya mong ibenta with good conscience, with good integrity. Tapos ikaw mismo gagamitin mo siya kasi maganda talaga yung produkto. For me, that's legit. And go ahead and do it. In fact, if you want to do it full time and you can make a lot of money from it, there's no real reason for you not to. Ang maganda pa doon, one of the reasons actually that I didn't like to go into multi-level marketing before is wala siyang legacy plan. Meaning, kung ano man yung kinita ko, kung ano man yung naging downline ko, hindi ko siya mapapasa sa anak ko or sa mga anak ko. Or pipili lang ako ng isang anak. So, dati walang ganun eh. But now, I think they have a legacy plan, which is really good. So, for entrepreneurs like me, if you ask me if I do things all over again, I might actually go multi-level marketing. Who knows? But I think it's pretty good business, depending on the product. From Patrick Miguel. Patrick, again, thank you for being here. You're always here every week. Sinasamahan mo ako every week, and I'm happy about that. We also Madge, Jazz, Monster Wings. You guys are here every week. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna read the question from Patrick. What are the top 5 principles you live by? Top 5 principles. There's a lot of principles that I live by, and it's all, most of it you can find in the Bible. So number 1, of course, is love the Lord your God. If you don't love God, where's your moral compass? What is right and wrong for you? What for you is right? What for you is wrong? You can't say. If you don't love God, ang hirap naman sabihin na, I don't like lying. Just because I don't like lying. Lying, I think, is bad. Why? Why do you think it's bad? It's hard to define morality when you don't know God and when you don't love God. So for me, a sense of morality is very, very important. My RMP results as well is I'm a high honor person, so honor is very important for me. RMP, or Risk Motivation Profile, it's a profiling psychometric system that is scientifically backed. So I took it. I actually am a certified facilitator of it, and I'm a high honor guy. So honor is very important for me. Top 1 principle, love the Lord your God. Second, love others. You have to love people. You have to value people, because if you don't, no one's going to want to work with you. No one's going to want to work for you. How can you be successful? How can people listen to you? How can you share with them your ideals? How can you share with them your goals? We live in a world full of people. The world is run by people. The world goes round because there are people in it. So you have to realize that early on, because you can't be a one-man team. You can't be that in success. You can't be that in life. That's why we have to have social life, a healthy social life. So love God, love others. And third, have a one-man person principle. Who you are at home or who you are in private, make sure you're the same person when facing other people in public, right? Ang hirap naman nun when you go home and your wife and kids look at you and say, wow, you're a very different person here at home. And you're a very, very nice person there on stage or with other people or in the office. But here you're angry and you always correct us and there's no love. It's hard to be that kind of a person. So I guess the third principle would be the one man principle. Fourth principle would be generous. I always tell people, if you're not giving till it hurts, you're not giving enough. Um, there was a time, I'm not sure if it was this year or last year, when I really, God was nudging my heart to give to a servant in church, and the thing that God wanted me to give is a secondhand SUV, and I prayed about it, and I knelt down. I prayed with my wife, and finally we decided to buy a secondhand SUV, and we made sure that it's in prime condition. We made sure that everything's okay. Pina-check pa namin bago ko kunin. Lahat, papeles, everything. And kakilala din. I made sure na sa kakilala namin bibilhin. So maayos lahat. I bought it out of faith. And di ko na pinalipas maraming oras. I gave it to the church servant, and he's also a good friend of mine. Love what he's doing. And after I did that, the months to come were the best months for the business. I would say it's amazing how God has provided for me, my family, how God has provided for the business as well. Even through the pandemic, all the plans that He helped us to think about, to adjust on what we're gonna do for our organization, it can only come from God. So, generosity. If you're not giving until it hurts, you're not giving enough. Fifth principle. What would be my fifth principle? Maybe simply work hard. Work as hard as you can while you can. So give it your best. Give it your best. So the thing about working is you don't need to exasperate your health. You don't need to sacrifice your health for it. When I say work hard, it doesn't mean that you work until you get cancer or you work until you don't get enough sleep. Sleep is important. I would not sacrifice my sleep to work extra hard. So when I say work hard, what I mean is do your best. Give it your best shot. Make sure that you're hitting the strategic points that you must be hitting, and you delegate those that are not super important that you personally have to do it. So definitely do that, because in the Bible it also says that whatever you do, whether you eat and drink, do it all for the glory of God. I think that especially applies to when you work, because when you work, you put in the effort. That is something that you can offer as a sacrifice to God. And for me, that's super important. So give it your best, work hard. That is something that also not a lot of people abide by. For them, doing enough is okay. And those kinds of people, unfortunately, I would say, mahirap. It's very difficult for them to find success. Maybe they would never find success. Maybe they'll just get by, but not really be successful. Diba? Because a lot of hard work goes into success. A lot of failure goes into success. If you're not willing to fail and work hard, it's hard to find success. Shout out to Art. Thank you again for tuning in from YouTube. Paul Domingo, bro, tagal na natin di nagkita. How are you? How are you, brother? Thank you for tuning in. Cedric, thanks for tuning in again this week. And of course, the idol, Mr. Jason Law. Thank you for tuning in. So I do this every Thursday, 8 p.m. Answer questions, business consulting questions. And again, it's for the love. I get nothing out of this, but I want to pay it forward to you guys. I hope you all learn from this. And this is going to be a recorded podcast in Leadership Stack. You guys are going to be on Spotify. So next question is from Jazz. Hi, Mr. Sean. When I was in fourth year college, I joined a night bazaar together with my friends. Wow. Since we were still in college and we were super busy at that time, the married couple hosts asked us a question: until when will you be able to do this? Because as per them, we have to know until when we can sustain the business. If you are to be asked this question, what will be your answer? The truth. That will be my answer. Whatever the truth is, that's what I will tell them. So if I can sustain it, I will tell them, well, I can sustain it for X number of years. If not, then I will tell them the reason why. Because I really want to finish my studies. And if I focus on this, I'm going to fail and I'm going to have to pay more tuition fee. And that's not going to make financial sense. So just tell them the truth. I've never joined the night bazaar or morning bazaar. Nung college pa ako, sinasabi ko na nga sa inyo, I failed 28 units. Addict po ako sa Dota, Barkada. You wouldn't like me then. All of you guys will not like me then. So God bless you. I mean, what you're doing is amazing. So from Monster Wings, Sir Sean, what leadership habits you follow? Do you follow leadership habits? Leadership habits. That's tough. So when you say habits, is what you do every day, automatically, without thinking about it. I guess one of the things that I do every day that for me is important when it comes to leadership is, without thinking, I pick up my Bible and read. Without thinking, honestly, it's become a habit for me because I've been doing it for a very, very long time. So I pick up my Bible, I read 1, 2 chapters, sometimes 3 chapters a day. Usually it's just 1 chapter a day. And for me, that is a leadership habit, because your spiritual walk. I mean, we are not just flesh and blood. We have spirits. You and I, we are spiritual beings as well. We cannot deny that. We cannot push that away. We cannot say it's false, because we feel it. We know it deep inside. And if you don't take care of that, your leadership with other people will crumble. Because guess what? The best leader is not John Maxwell. Even God bless him, super galing niya, but it's not John Maxwell. The best leader is not Patrick Lencioni. It's not Dave Ramsey. It's not all of these figures. The best leader who ever walked this world and changed history, literally splitting it into two, which is after death and before Christ, is Jesus Christ. He's the best leader. He didn't make money. He did ministry and had 12 disciples whom he spent most of his time with. And a lot of those disciples went out and changed the world. All the way here to the Philippines, we know the gospel. We know what he did for us. We have the Bible. That kind of leadership that influenced the entire world is something to behold and is something I would like to learn from. So I guess that habit of reading the Bible every day is a leadership habit that I do practice and follow. Are there other leadership practices that I follow? I read. I read books. When you don't read, you don't fill yourself up with new things that you can teach or that you can apply in your life. How can you lead? How will people follow you? How are you one step ahead? Because if you're not one step ahead, then you're in line with the others. You're not really leading. You're in line with them. But when you lead, other people are following. You have to be steps ahead. One step, two step, three steps. How can you be that way when there's nothing new coming into you? So earlier today, I actually had a podcast recording and I learned a lot from that guy. He's an IT guy, went into HP, also worked 5 years. Pinopromote ahead ko na yung episode na to, no? Pero lalabas to mga December or January pa. Pero ang ganda ng episode. I learned a lot from this guy and he talked about scaling up. From a startup entrepreneur, napapagod ka, you feel the burden. Suddenly things are not as exciting for you because there's a lot of things that you have to do like legal and accounting. You have to implement systems. Dapat may process na. Hindi na pwedeng mag-delegate ka lang, no? Hindi na pwedeng wild, wild west. So, this guy talks about how you implement vision, culture, processes, etc. to the business. And he's an IT guy. He's a programmer. So, ang ganda ng episode. Because from a programmer, suddenly became a coach and consultant. So, I learned a lot from that. That's how I grow. And if you're not growing, how can you lead? Another question from Jin. Hi, Sean. And any tips on how to create more demand for my frozen product? Should I start advertising it, like make teasers, even if it will take a few months but to ship it? Well, if you're taking in pre-orders, might be a good idea. And when you take in pre-orders, make sure that you get the cash. So pre-orders usually work that they give you like 50%, somewhere there, 50 to 70%. Maybe 50% would be safe of the payment. Some people ask for 30%. So maybe you can get 30% of the money as a down payment for the pre-order. That's safe enough for you because you have cash flow, right? Hindi sila magpa-pre-order lang tapos ikaw yung mag-shell out. So you ask for 30% down and then you go ahead and order it. And for the 30%, maybe you can have like the ad spend or advertising spend tucked in already. Always remember, when you're going to advertise on Facebook and Instagram, you have to have a target, a goal na per 100 pesos na ginastos ko dun sa ad, dapat makakuha man lang ako ng isa or dalawang sale. Meaning you have a 1 or 2% conversion rate. Actually, that's amazing. If you have 1%, it's already amazing in my opinion. But that's how you can do it. Now, how you're going to take people into that conversion point, depende na sa'yo yun. Mag-i-e-commerce ka ba? Or ipapa-message mo ba sila lahat isa-isa sa'yo? That it really depends on you. I see some people who are advertising on Instagram, what they do is they ask people to message them, PM, isa-isa. Medyo hassle yun. Like you have to have, I don't know, 2 or 3 people depending on how many messages you get from the ad because people are gonna message you and usually, guess what they will say? HM, di ba? Yan, tayo mga Pinoy, kilala tayo sa HM. So, usually that's what they will say. Get ready to answer those inquiries all the way until you can convert them to do a pre-order with you. So if you don't have the products on hand and you're gonna take a few months but to ship it, that's called the pre-order. But you have to also notify them that you are in pre-order stage and they're getting it for cheaper. Kasi kung mag-order sila, they're gonna pay like, let's say, I don't know, 2,000 pesos. Let's just say. You're gonna pay 2,000 pesos when they have stock on hand and you're gonna buy it outright. But when you pre-order, you get it for 1,800 lang. So may 200 pesos discount ka. Kasi nag-pre-order ka. Same thing, you just have to wait. Just have to wait X number of months. Now, why will you do that? You give them 10% discount to wait. One good reason you want to do that is you gauge market demand. Kung marami kang pre-order, di alam mo, palakihin mo pa yung shipment mo, paramihin mo pa yung shipment mo, nakatipid ka sa shipping fee. So it makes sense for you. Also, you are able to get cash flow coming in because they're gonna pre-order, may down payment sila, may deposit sila. You can use that to run ads or to pay for the shipment coming in. So I hope that makes sense. If you're gonna run ads, I suggest Instagram. If your product could look very nice, maybe you could show the cooked version, not the frozen product. Or you can show both, but make sure you hire a food photographer so that it really looks nice when you run the ad. Invest in your product shots because your ad is only as powerful as how you present it to be. We have a question from RJ Legaspi. What was your first job? Actually, I worked as an IT consultant for Hewlett Packard. So I don't know how else I can make it interesting for you. The starting pay was 25K. It had benefits. It also had a 30% tax, which was very, very big during that time. Um, yeah, and basically, ang nauuwi ko doon, super small. Like, I don't know, 8,000. Because I factor in the commute, I factor in the food. I live in BF Parañaque. The office HP during that time is in Ortigas. Why I decided to commute that far? Kasi yung nililigawan kong babae taga Quezon City. She's my first girlfriend and my last also. She's my wife now. No? So, effective naman. Sulit naman yung malayong distance na yun. And yeah, I would commute tricycle, jeep, bus, MRT, jeep, and then walk like 10 minutes to go to the office. So it wasn't an easy commute. It was also expensive for me. Wala pa yung mga UV Express nun, hindi pa ganun ka-uso yun dati. So yeah, it was fun. HP is a good company, I would say. HP is a really good company. From Patrick Miguel as well. Second question, i-backtrack ko, no? What do you do if you have a misunderstanding with the wife? Oh, man. First thing, I hope I always do this, but sometimes I forget. I should kneel down and pray. Wisdom comes from the Lord. It's in the Bible. Wisdom comes from the Lord. And nakalagay din sa Bible, he who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. And a good wife who can find? Only the Lord gives good wife. So if God gave me my wife, then God should tell me also how to handle misunderstandings, conflicts, and problems. So there are, of course, different ways to do it, but I'm gonna tell you how it ends usually. Ends well. It would end well if I say sorry. Hindi maarte yung asawa ko, thank God. All she really asks is for me to say sorry and to explain why I'm saying sorry, what I did. No, she wants to hear it. So if I do that, usually the misunderstanding is done. That's it. But if I don't do that, oh man, I wouldn't get enough sleep. So, pro tip: fix it. Yeah, that's it. Fix it. How do you discipline your kids? When they do something wrong, we make sure that it is something that is against God. So it would be disobedience or disrespect or bratting out. If it's any of those, then usually what I do is I talk with them, I sit them down, and I tell them, "Oh, what did you do?" And then they say, I disobeyed, or I shouted at you, or shouted at mama, disrespect. And I tell them, "Is that right? Do you want to make God happy or sad? Do you want blessings or not?" And of course, they would say they want blessings, they want to make God happy. And I tell them why I'm going to discipline them. I tell them that I don't want you to grow up to be a bad person. I want you to learn these things as early as now. And then I give them one or two smacks in the butt. I make sure it hurts. I make sure that they would feel it and they wouldn't do it again. That's how I discipline my kids. And after that, I do it again. I explain it again to them. Oh, why did you get spanked? And they would say, because I did this and that. Do you want more blessings or not? I want more blessings, Papa. All right. So we recap, and then we hug and we kiss. That's always how I do it. And that's because they're young. They're 6 years old, and my eldest is 6 years old, and my youngest is 4 years old. Patrick also asks, what is happiness to you? Happiness to me is when I am in a state where I don't want anything. So if I'm in a state where I don't want anything, I'm happy. Contentment. I guess I'm equating it with contentment. That for me is happiness. So I want to do a shout out first from Pebbles. Greetings from Onboard Bliss here in Gothenburg, Sweden. Thanks for tuning in from YouTube, all the way from Sweden. I hope you're learning here. Melvin Pisa, thanks for tuning in. And Jean, thanks again for tuning in all the way from Facebook. Fantastic. So we are down to our last few questions. If we wrap up early, that's fine. If you don't want to ask any more questions, okay lang yun, guys. So if you do have questions, though, this is the link right here. Go there so you can ask questions from Discord, and I will get to answering them. If you want to promote your business, also in our Discord community, we have the Promote Your Business channel where you can just post your business so that we know what you do, and we can also help you promote your business. So, from Patrick, how do you keep your employees happy? Can you measure that? Good question. Patrick Lencioni says, employees need to know that what they're doing matters in the big picture. So, this is a long process. First thing you do, you have to make sure that you cast the vision and your entire team knows what the vision is. After that one, you're moving towards that vision because that's what makes a company. Company is a group of individuals moving towards the vision together. How can you be moving towards the vision together if certain people in your team don't know why the heck they're doing some things? So you have to explain to them how what they're doing matters as you move towards that vision. For example, we have writers in the team. And it's easy for them to lose sight of what they're doing and just think, I'm writing articles for clients. And I write topics that I'm not an expert about, and I just research about it. They can easily think that way and lose heart for what they're doing because no one wants to churn out a lot of articles per day for nothing. But if you show them, this is what your articles are doing, we're getting this much hits, visits, and the clients are getting this much sales from what you're doing. Now that is engaging them, and now they're going to be figuring out, oh, okay, that's what I'm doing. That's from my results. Wow, I want to do more of that. So not only do you, the entrepreneur, benefit from that, the team leader benefit from that by explaining to them how and why, but the entire team, the entire company benefits from that because the person felt better that they're not just a cog in the machine, that they're actually doing something that matters to the world at large. We have clients that are pharmaceutical companies, and they are helping people by distributing drugs that help people get better. So you are helping pretty much the entire world, or at least the entire Philippines, when you write articles for that client. So you connect. That's how you engage your team members. You show them the metrics. Make sure that you measure it and show them how their work matters. From Cedric Choa, can you share with us problems you encountered in starting and handling leadership stack? Starting the podcast, I actually started it in a very crude way. If you watch the very first podcast episode recording that I did, it was with my wife, Apple, and my brother, Kevin, and it was just in my office. And we had a lot of reverberation, we had a lot of noise, may mga kotseng dumadaan. We started it very crudely, like how you would pretty much start a startup. When you start a company, it's never going to be perfect. I started SEO Hacker from the attic of my parents' house. Maalikabok. Madalas hindi ako pwede magbukas ng aircon kasi sayang kuryente, so pawis-pawis ako doon. It's nothing glorious. I didn't have carpeted office. I didn't have like toys in my background. I didn't have any of these things. I had an 8-year-old Asus laptop. That's what I had. An 8-year-old Asus laptop. And I had to make do with that. I had to. That's what I used. And by God's grace, it has grown and grown and grown all the way to what it is now. When you start it up, ganun talaga eh. So I wouldn't say it's a problem. I would say it's starting pains or growing pains, right? It's part of the process. It's not really a problem. It's part of the process, and you learn from that. So I learned how to reduce reverberation. Like right now, if you think that the audio output is pretty good, it's because I use a mixer. I use Focusrite 2i2. I'm not getting anything from this. So just a disclaimer: I'm not a promoter. Buy at your own risk. Um, yeah, I had it shipped from Amazon and all the way here, and then I make sure that the gain is low so that it doesn't get any feedback or white noise, and then nilalapit ko yung bibig ko dun sa mic to make sure that my voice is clear. So if you're happy with the audio output, that's what I do. So I'll only learn these things because of the many mistakes, growing pains, startup pains that I went through. Um, I think those are the only things, because by God's grace, the leadership staff team, my editor for the podcast, my editor for the video, Lara, if you're listening, Peter, if you're listening, Jam, if you're listening, I really appreciate you guys, and you guys do a fantastic job. I don't have problems doing that. John as well for the website. So these guys do a fantastic job. I don't. All I do is create content. That's it. I record this. I answer your questions here. I record podcasts with guests. I don't edit. I don't do the transcriptions. I don't animate. They do everything. Why are we doing it for free? Well, they're funded by SEO Hacker. I pay them their salary through SEO Hacker, but I'm doing it for free. So actually, I'm not doing this really for free. I pay a lot to produce the leadership stack, but it's my way of paying it forward to you guys, right? So you guys learn a lot as well from what I went through. From Patrick again, what is your guilty pleasure? Guilty pleasure, computer games, definitely. So I play Valorant, I play Legends of Runeterra right now. Bumalik ako kasi may bagong patch, may bagong decks. So that for me is my guilty pleasure. RJ Legaspi, how do you deal with problems or challenges in life? Prayer. That's it. I can't make it up. I can't make things up. My answer would really be going down on my knees, praying. Guys, kahit domestic problem yan sa katulong, kahit problema sa boy ko sa office or sa driver ko, that's what I do. I kneel down and pray. That's the first thing that I do. I don't have the answers. I don't have the solutions. I don't have powers to do that. I am a very limited man. And so the first thing I do is go to a very unlimited God and ask him for help. It's nice to hear your humble beginnings. Mas na-appreciate ka na nothing comes easy talaga. That's true. Nothing in life worth doing comes easy. So work hard, pray hard, and make sure you have your vision intact and follow that vision. From Patrick, one project you regret taking and what happened to it? What lessons did you learn from it? Well, I've had more than one project that I regret taking, and usually this comes from the wrong customers or the wrong clients. When I say wrong customers or wrong clients, ito yung wala silang budget or mali yung expectations nila kahit na pinaulit-ulit mo na hindi sila nakaintindi, or tanong sila ng tanong sobrang kulit. It could be from different things. It could be from different things. Usually it's from a client that doesn't really have the budget, meaning hindi nila kayang bayaran yung services namin. Pero talagang pinagpilitan na kunin ko na sila as a client. Maybe they did some charm to make sure that I agree to getting them as a client. Something like that, no? Usually kasi I turn it down na lang eh. If I don't like the client, I just turn it down. Simple as that. Or pass them on to some other company. But kung nagpupumilit, sometimes I tend to try, which usually ends up in a mistake because the client will turn out to be a monster client, and I don't like handling that kind of clients. So we fire the client. And usually when we fire the client, there are expenses already on our end that they wouldn't pay. So inabonohan ko na yun. It's a bad debt. on our book, on our accounting. So I have more than one project that I regret. How do we reward employees? Sorry, my son's hearing. If you're hearing that now, so how do you reward your employees? Do you give bonuses? Reward, we have perks. So we have what we call patches. We award them with patches. Medyo military, no? Yung mga military patch, private, sergeant, three-star general, lieutenant. So we have those kinds of things that we stick to their jackets. Of course, we're the ones who produce the jackets for them. This was way back when we were in the office. Now kasi we don't hold the office anymore. We work from home. So we're still figuring it out how we're gonna do that. And per patch, we have a perk. So we give them a perk. Could be like you have extra minutes for breaks, something like that, right? So that's just an example. Or you get one paid vacation leave, something like that. No. So those are perks. Those are rewards. But you know what's important there? It's not really the perks. It's not really the jacket. It's not even the patches. What's important is you recognize them for their effort. Why we give them patches is when they practice the core values. So we have 6 core values. We have grit, respect for work, and we have unity, challenger, experimentation, and clarity. If they keep on practicing any of these and we see that they practice it and the votes are in their favor, because we do vote, the leadership team votes who is deserving of the patch, then we give them the patch. And they get recognized in front of the entire team. So that's in front of 50 people. There is a saying that the last time a person gets applauded is usually during their graduation day. I was quite sad when I heard that, because when you think about it, it's quite true. The last time a person got applauded is during their graduation day. It's quite sad. So we try to figure out how we can fix that, fix that in SEO Hacker. We have our clap sessions. We really applaud people. We really recognize them. I'm sure other companies do it in some other way, like Employee of the Month or Employee of the Week. I don't know if you have Employee of the Day, but I'm sure other companies do it in some other way. But we're very intentional in doing this because for us, yeah, you can give bonuses. Yeah, you can give monetary rewards. Yeah, you can compete in the salary market, but we don't want to compete that way. Because one thing that's hollow in the hearts of a lot of people now is a team that really cares about them and a team that really appreciates them. Yun yung kulang eh, hindi naman pera eh. So we do it that way at SEO Hacker. Do I play League of Legends? Yes, I played League of Legends. One of the best games out there, in my opinion. So from Jazz, question from Jazz. I like reading, but when it comes to reading books about business, as much as I want to learn, I end up feeling sleepy. What advice could you give? Business book. Read Patrick Lencioni's books about teams, so you can read The Truth About Employee Engagement. The Truth About Employee Engagement, I think was the title. It's the first book of his that I've read. And The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. It's in story, para siyang fiction story. Nagkukwento lang si Patrick Lencioni about it, and there are characters there, fictional characters, and you learn from it. Or from R.D. Roberto, The Happy Entrepreneur. Personally, I haven't read it, but I have heard amazing raving feedback about the book, and it's in Taglish, and he features some amazing people, businessmen like Mr. Gokongwei is there, Paulo Tibig is there. I suggest you start probably with The Happy Entrepreneur. That's the name of the book. It's a yellow book, The Happy Entrepreneur. Buy it. It's in his website, rdroberto.com. Check it out. I'm sure you will finish that book. I'm pretty sure you'll finish that book. So, will you give away jackets to your listeners? Unfortunately, no. It's really for my team. That's something that's precious to us, unique to us. And yeah, sadly, maybe some other jackets. Maybe a leadership stack jacket. Let's see. Stickers muna bago jacket, no? Yeah, so that's the last question. Oh, may mga pahabol tayong questions. So again, if you guys want to ask questions, if you're watching from YouTube or Facebook, this is the link. You ask your questions there. Business consulting questions usually. So if you're having problems with your business, roadblock, processes, company culture, firing, hiring. Just ask the question. I'll try my best to answer it. I see a lot of people typing now. Last time, di ako minom ng tubig, naubusan ako ng boses after 1 hour. So, definitely drinking water, water break. Next question from Patrick. What do you think about the present situation about COVID-19? Do you think we will have a vaccine at the end of the year? Oh, you print stickers. Fantastic. Let's get in touch about that because I have another startup that I'm doing right now and I need stickers for that. So I think the present situation about COVID-19 is not that good. This is just my opinion. Okay, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying this is the truth. This is not data driven as far as nagdi-disclaimer na ako, no. Wala akong pinaghugutan nitong data na to na concrete or solid. But based on my gut as an entrepreneur, I think that we will be able to recover from the health issues of COVID by the end of next year, end of 2021, December. Health yun. Even if there was a vaccine, end of 2021. That's what I think. Economically speaking, no, for our entire nation, I think we can recover, or we will see some recovery 3 years from now, 2 to 3 years, 3 years safe. So 2023 might be when we finally see that the recession is done. Tapos na yung pagbagsak ng market natin. Yung unemployment rate natin, bababa na ng bababa by then. Hindi na siya angat ulit for a long time. So yeah, I think around 3 years. Again, this is my opinion, gut feel. Don't take my word for it. Don't chop this video and just, put it in the news that that's my prediction. This is a gut feel. This is my opinion. All right, Jazz needs stickers too. All right, fantastic. So get in touch with Patrick. Good thing that you're already in the Discord community. Last question, how do you hire employees? I'm a horrible hire. So I'm really bad in hiring people. I've said this as well in the past episodes. We have a 6-step hiring process, which has changed because now we're working remotely. Usually the first interview would be with my HR. The next one would be with the team leader. The next one would be with my COO. Fourth one would be with my GM, and the last one is with me. Why it's so long? And we have exams in between pa. Like we have the test for the position they're applying for. We have the personality test. We have the core values exam. And this entire thing is in my book. If you want to buy the book, it's in Amazon. Search 50x, 50x your business. I wrote that book, launched it in Amazon KDP. So I can't sell it anywhere but Amazon. 50x your business. I wrote the entire hiring process that we do there, as well as the core value exam, yung questions na tinatanong ko to see if someone will fit SEO hacker with our core values. It's all there. So if you want to buy the book, get it from Amazon, download it in your mobile phone, Kindle, or PC, or if you have a Kindle, an actual Kindle, download it there. And basically, we made the hiring process very, very long. It's because we want to make sure that we're hiring really the best people and the right people. Having the wrong hire is disastrous. I cannot stress this enough. If you hire the wrong person, they will wreak havoc in your team. They'll gossip. They're little politicians running their own little world. It's horrible. It's just really bad, and I'm sick and tired of that. So we made sure that the hiring process is really good, really extensive, and we weed out. Honestly, I think we turned down 95% of our applicants. Only 5% gets to me. And when they get to me, they're as good as hired, unless they say something stupid. That's the only time that I don't accept them. All right, we have a question from Richard. As a company that provides SEO services, how do you envision the digital roadmap in the Philippines? What do you think on small and big companies that lacks digital presence? I think that a lot of companies right now are looking to go digital when they have the funds. Because right now, a lot of them don't have the funds for it or are not prepared to fund their digital because it's not really cheap. It's not cheap to build a website, do the SEO right. It could be cheap, but if you do it cheap, you might have to do it again because you did it cheap the first time. You get penalized, you have a lot of wrong things, pangit yung code, di maganda yung design, yung branding mo nasira. So you have all of these wrong things that can go on when you do it cheap. So companies who are smart will do it right the first time and get the best providers that they can find. I think that that's going to be the roadmap for the Philippines. That kung kaya na ng mga companies, they have funds for it. The economy is recovering or is getting better. I think that they're going to go digital, a lot of them, because we know that the traffic is bad. Way before the pandemic, we know that traffic is bad, and it's getting worse. And how that gets solved is don't waste your life on traffic. Just order from e-commerce. And a lot of people right now are used to ordering e-commerce, are used to ordering their groceries online. Where it's normal for us. We do our meetings online. Zoom na lang, di ba? So we're used to this now. Even post-pandemic, we're still gonna be used to a lot of these things. And so going digital is one of the best things that a company can do. One of the wisest things that companies can do. Small and big companies that lacks digital presence, I think that they're missing out a lot. They're leaving money on the table. Sayang. Sayang yung kikitain mo sana if you don't go digital. Because honestly, what's the first thing you pick up in the morning? I don't think it's your coffee mug. I don't think it's your toothbrush. I don't think people brush their teeth first thing in the morning. I think people check their smartphone. Whether sabihin nila, hindi, Sean, tinurn off ko lang yung alarm ko. Sure, but you probably check also some notifications there, whether it's Facebook or email, whatever, right? So if the first thing you pick up is your smartphone and the last thing you put down is also your smartphone, what does that tell you about the world today? What does that tell you about human behavior? What does that tell you about your business not being on digital? That's something very important that you have to think about. I watched this documentary on Netflix, The Social Dilemma, and one of the venture capitalists there says, it's no longer a question of whether you pick up your phone or not. The question is whether you do it before you pee or while you're peeing in the morning. So I find that funny, but it's the truth, right? It's the truth. From Jazz, I'm running an online cafe because I don't have enough capital from for an actual shop yet. Online cafe. Last time you said that the company needs more SMEs, that the economy needs more SMEs right now. Do you think it's safe to put up an actual shop in the economic situation right now, or should I stay online and wait? Jazz, in my opinion, if you're in Metro Manila, maybe as a friend, right? This is my advice for you. My advice for you is don't expose yourself. And if you open a physical cafe, it's going to be tough because you're exposing yourself to people who will come and go. You don't know. It's not worth it to get the virus. It is not worth it. We've had friends who passed away. Friends, personal friends. I've had personal friends who passed away from COVID. And the hospital bills and the burial is just not worth it. And so this is why we decided SEO Hacker work from home. We're not going to ask people to go to the office until this entire thing is over. And when I say over, meaning it's zero, it's over. It is not worth it. So as a friend, my advice, just stay online. I also don't think if you open it up now, that it's going to make as much money or as much revenue as it would given, for example, before the pandemic or when the pandemic's over. So you might be excited about it because it's a startup, it's an idea, and you're an entrepreneur, you're a visionary. But sometimes waiting is the best thing to do. And in your case, I think if you have something going on for you in the digital world, having an online cafe, that is something that is good. You can sustain it. More opportunities will open up there. And by waiting, you have capital that you can reinvest somewhere, or you can invest it somewhere right now that would make money. And it doesn't have to be stuck in a physical asset or a physical structure like a physical cafe. Thank you guys for the very encouraging words, and thank you again for tuning in. Um, RJ says, God bless her, Sean. You're providing so much value for free. Richard, well said. Thanks, sir. You guys are welcome, and I hope that I provided a lot of value for you tonight. Jazz, you are welcome. Again, for those of you who are tuning in from Facebook or YouTube, we have the Discord community right here. You can join us and post your questions there. I do this every week, Thursday at 8 p.m., and it is going to be turned into a podcast on Spotify. Follow us on Spotify if you haven't already. This is the link right here. I don't know if you can read that one kasi maliit, but the link, I'm going to just do another banner. So, no, I don't have it. I don't have the project author. I don't have the Spotify. There, I have it. That's the link, right? There you go. leadme.ph/Spotify. So you can follow the Leadership Stack podcast there. All the AMAs like tonight, all the Leadership Stack episodes like tonight, they're going to be there. And more because I have guests from all over the world who I ask questions to. They're experts on real estate, they're experts on coaching, consulting, finance. You learn a lot from them. Also, a lot of local masters like Mr. Marvin Guermo, Jason Law, Isaac Sabas, Harry Uy. Really enjoyed that episode. So I have these people who really give us a piece of their mind. You just gain so much wisdom and you can lead better. You can be a better entrepreneur, better manager by tuning in the podcast. Every follow is important for us. We just hit the 1,000 mark. More than 1,000 followers na tayo sa Spotify, guys. So that is super, super big milestone for me. Also, I just want to say SEO Hacker is hiring. So if you want to tell your friends that, hey, I know a digital marketing company that's hiring, please do refer them to us. I'm going to put the link here. I have to create that banner. So hiring, what's the link? This is the link. SEOhacker.services/jobs. That is, yeah, that is the link right there. SEOhacker.services/jobs. You can see all of our openings. You can see what the company is about. You can even see videos of our team outing and how fun it is. Although baka this year wala kaming team outing, but maybe next year, right? I don't know. Who knows? Only God knows. But we're gonna try to figure out what we can do this year. Still, no. But yeah, if you know someone looking to start a digital marketing career, this is the link right here. Tell that person to apply. We are hiring anyone from fresh grad all the way to 40 years old, and that's because we think we can relate better to that age range. Even if you have experience or no experience in digital marketing, you're welcome to apply. Thank you so much, Richard, Jazz, Patrick, and all the other people who were able to tune in tonight. God bless you and have a good evening.